After the 20-year-long war, here's what the Taliban could do that the U.S. could not. Hello, this is Chart GPT today. You know, U.S. was involved in a war in Afghanistan for over 20 years, and regardless of your political views on the war, America did leave in 2021 in a kind of chaotic manner. But it was kind of interesting. It was kind of a side note to the war, which was a pretty big issue at the time, and the fact that the Taliban is doing what the U.S. could not. And of course, that was in the eradication of the heroin trade in Afghanistan. Here's kind of a chart here that kind of shows you the global production of heroin, and the Afghanistan country was primarily almost 80% of the whole opium production compared to the rest of the world. And the U.S. had made efforts through all that period to try to eradicate the poppy trade there in Afghanistan with a marginal effect, some could say. Here's kind of the use of the opioid heroin. It kind of had a rise, in fact, in 2010, sort of midway through the war. But I think it was rising. And despite the efforts of different groups on the U.S. side to try to eradicate it, of course, what's kind of usurped this production is the rise of the synthetic opioids, specifically fentanyl and other products. So this is kind of where they kind of started hurting the trade there in Afghanistan. But nevertheless, the amount of eradication was tried very heavily, and of course, when you can see here, around that 2010, as the rise of heroin in Afghanistan also kind of came with the decline in the eradication process of the U.S. Forces there. Of course, it's something evidently the Taliban has always said, regardless of your beliefs on the Taliban, they are against that as well. And the reports there is, you can check out the description references in the description box with the post link, that in recent times, in the last year, they've now beginning to get in some of the provinces, they're eradicating. Of course, Taliban has draconian methods to do that, and they have been largely successful to eradicate in some provinces up to 90%. Here's kind of an aerial view of Helmand, the province of Helmand in Afghanistan, and you can see before there a lot of poppy production. About half the arable land there was used for poppies, and of course now in 2023 it's used for wheat. No doubt the Taliban has used draconian methods to make that happen, so that's another problem there. But regardless, they have done what the U.S. could not do, and so that is going to have an effect on the heroin trade across the globe, since they were 80%. Give us your take. Is this going to be a good news for the rest of the world now that the poppy production in Afghanistan, or will it be picked up by other countries as well? Give us your take in the polling and on the description box in the post link. In any case, it is what it is on the development of what's going on in Afghanistan. Don't forget to subscribe.